Hello, dear. How are you today? You know those firemen? The funny ones with the color sense? Looks like they misplaced a bolt of expensive fabric. Of course, each one of them suspects the other. Looks like a catfight is brewing. Congratulations, hero. You found Karen after all.
You don't seem proud, Mother. I wonder why.
I warned you not to waste time looking for her.
Am I running out of time?
The blood drive is coming soon.
What does that have to do with anything?
If you haven't joined the lodge by then, you'll find out. Still, I'm glad you found the poor baby. She says Mr. Potsdam was responsible for what happened to her. What a silly little girl. Shame on you! Imagine accusing your future father-in-law of a thing like that. Is that how a range rider would behave? I don't think so.
Why would she lie?
Okay, Weisenheimer. Even if he is a child molester, a kidnapper, and an attempted murderer, that's no reflection on what... Don't forget to put the paper...
There now, see how easy it is?
Hello, Steve. Care to buy any? Just point to whatever you want. Steve, you live close to Mr. Johnson. How is he taking it? Such wanton vandalism. It just... Naughty fellows like Deputy Loomis aside, I think every man should cultivate an interest in girly magazines. If it'll keep them out, you should hear them carrying on, accusing each other.
Did you say hello to your father for me? Thank God for that, at least. I could use some good news right now. Yeah, I know what that crazy little bitch said, but it's not true. I was at home that night. Mrs. Potsdam will vouch for me. Isn't that right, Mrs. Potsdam?
That's right, Mr. Potsdam. Hello, Steve. Care to stay for some pot roast?
Forget the pot roast, Mother. Pot roast isn't for backstabbers, for persecutors. I won't share my meat with him. My meat! My meat! Someone went and scraped up Johnson's car? Can you imagine? He'd step in a bear trap and chew his own leg off rather than suffer a scratched tucker. Serves the rich bastard right, if you ask me. Those silly willies down at the fire station are just incensed about losing some decorating stuff. Some people. Yeah. Maybe they should be more concerned with fire and less with flame. Stop mumbling, Steve. I can't understand you at all.
Steve, I'm so glad you came back. What have you been doing?
I visited the lodge. Talked to the sergeant-at-arms there. He knows that there's something out of whack here. He told me if I wanted to find out what it is, I should join the lodge. I've decided to join the lodge, Stephanie. I think the answer to all our questions is inside.
That place. It's so sinister. You may be playing right into their hands. Did you think of that? Doesn't it seem like you're being herded toward the lodge?
That's one of the things I hope to find out.
I hope finding out doesn't get you killed. My faux mother keeps me up on the latest gossip. Not like she really wants to talk to me. More like she's feeding me information. For instance, she told me that Mr. Johnson's Tucker was vandalized. That's another weird thing. Every car I've seen drive by is a Tucker. There were only 31 produced. What are the odds of that?
I've always wanted a Tucker. Funny that Harvest would be full of them.
Any idea who scratched the car? Why would you do something like that?
It's part of the lodge initiation.
I see.
Look, I don't know what's going on here, but getting into the lodge is the best way to find out.
By committing vandalism? It was a crime, Steve.
Don't be so melodramatic about it. I've heard of worse fraternity initiations.
Sorry. When you put it that way, I guess I was overreacting. You know the firemen? Someone stole some fabric from them, and they're up in arms about it. Another harmless prank? And how many more harmless pranks will you be pulling?
However many it takes to get in, Stephanie. If I have to use them to escape, then I will.
Are you using them? Or are they using you?
It was just a bolt of cloth.
You've turned the firemen against each other. They think one of their own stole it.
Would you rather stay here? I've heard that harvest is lovely in the fall when the leaves turn orange and gold, and the annual blood drive paints the town red.
All right. You have a point. Is it true? You found Karen?
Yeah, just in time, too. He'd molested her and buried her alive. He couldn't bring himself to kill her outright, so he just decided to stick her in the ground and let fate take its course.
Who? Who would do that to a helpless child?
She says it was Mr. Potsdam. And I believe her.
Oh, Christ. And all this time I've been under the same roof with that thing watching me.
Take it easy, okay?
So, at least they'll be coming to take him away, won't they? Come back and visit me soon, okay? I'm glad to see you. Come back and...
Exquisite cloth. Its loss should trigger quite a bit of dissension amongst our gallant firefighters. Still, that is not your concern. Your next assignment is to break into the tonsorial establishment of Mr. Pastorelli and abscond with his prized barber's pole. Lack of respect for authority, a fine trait for a member of the Order. Yes, I approve, Stephen. I hope you succeed in your task. Break into the shop, steal the barber's pole, and bring it back to me. At that point, I shall give you your final task.
I'm glad to see you. Come back and visit.
Halt! Who goes there?
It's just me, Steve.
What do you want? Did the llamas send you? That's good. Someone has to keep them in check. I remember you. You're the soldier I sent to check on the firemen. Did you find evidence of commie infiltration? Thank God for that. Your next assignment is to infiltrate the lodge before it's too late. Get it at all costs, mister. Or God help us all. Remember,
Boy, the way you keep pestering me, you'd think you were feeling guilty about something. Are you? I got a report here that someone put a ding on Johnson's Tucker. As ornery as Johnson is about that old car, I suppose he had it coming. I imagine it was just some kids pulling a prank. I'm nowhere near solving the Tucker case, and now I have to deal with a bunch of firemen throwing a hissy fit over some stolen cloth. Can you imagine? What the heck is going on around here? Stop on by any time, Steve.
Kiddo, you brought me any of them girly picture books?
No, sorry.
Oh, heck. Why should you be any different from the sheriff or Mrs. Loomis? Steve, I'd be right obliged if you could just see clear to bringing me just one of them books. Believe me, it'll be worth your time to do it. Anytime, kiddo.
I can't talk now. The dishes are stacked up and back, and I better take advantage of the lull. I just heard that Mr. Johnson's Tucker was vandalized. You know, though I don't like to think ill of people or take pleasure in the misfortunes of others, I'd like to think it's a comeuppance for all the times that nasty man has bothered me. I feel terrible about what happened at the fire station. Those firemen helped me decorate my diner. I can't believe one of them stole that cloth from the others. It must have been someone else, don't you think?
Bye-bye.
Boy, Sheriff Dwayne sure is into Postmaster Boyle for a lot. Offhand, I'd say it looks like blackmail, something fierce. Wonder what Boyle could have done. And the sheriff, a blackmailer? My goodness. Hold on a sec. We're back with the news flash, buckaroos. We've just gotten information from Steve that Sheriff Dwayne is blackmailing Postmaster Boyle for something or other. Stay tuned for further developments as soon as Steve can come up with them. Boy, Sheriff Dwayne sure is into Postmaster Boyle for a lot. Offhand, I'd say it looks like blackmail, something fierce. Wonder what Boyle could have done. And the sheriff, a blackmailer? My goodness. Hold on a sec. We're back with a news flash, buckaroos. We've just gotten information. Boy, Sheriff Dwayne, we've just gotten in. Say, that's mighty nice. Gotta skedaddle. Boy, Sheriff Dwayne, we've just got.
Some rotten son bitch scratched my car. My Tucker, my baby, my poor darling, my sweet cheeks. If I find out who did it, I'll kill him. Just kill him dead. I told that fool sheriff to beef up the patrols, but what does he care? Nobody cares about a limp dick fat boy. Well, I'll make them care. I'll make them care. Why couldn't they have scratched the hell out of that rickety fire truck instead of my Tucker? Those firemen are carrying on like the world is ending just because someone stole some of their foo-foo cloth. Someone ought to tell them that the world already ended. I should know. I was there. Good work rescuing Karen. Of course, you queered my play with Edna, but I suppose a little girl's life is more important than my sex life, right? Bye now.
Oh man, damn it.
Oh,
Well,
damn it.
Oh man.
You might want to be extra nice to Mr. Potsdam today, Steve. He was turned down by the lodge again. Guess we're having the wedding at Mr. Moynihan's after. Sorry, I didn't catch. Give my regards to you.
What were you thinking? Attacking someone like that, with so many witnesses around? You'll have plenty of time to think about it, boy.
Somebody help me! What do you people want from me?
Too late for that, boy. Ain't it, Sergeant?
Indeed it is, Sheriff. Answers may only be found in the lodge.
This is your...
Oh, man. Yeah.
What do you people want from me?
More pie, Sheriff?
Welcome to our order.
The hand that grips life with staff. Stephanie.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Did you hear what happened at the barber shop? Someone broke into Pastorelli's salon and took his antique barber's pole. The next morning, Pastorelli touched some live wires that the thief left lying around and was electrocuted. Well, that darn foreigner got what he deserved, if you ask me, coming into a nice little town like Harvest and stealing business. Heavens, if a bowl and scissors were good enough for your father, I don't see why decent working folk need a fancy wop styling their hair. That's how it goes. First you get a sissy trim, then bang, you're a communist. Isn't it exciting, Steve? 5 days and 1,200 cookies later, the bake sale is already here. Where does the time fly?
Those 1,200 cookies. How many are you taking to the sale?
Oh, about 20. The rest were stale. But the effort wasn't wasted. It's for a good cause. Will you be at the school tonight? That's nice, dear. It's good to be open to new experiences.
Don't you think it's odd, having a bake sale to pay for burying out-of-towners?
Gosh, hooties, what should we do? Leave them in the streets?
Of course we should bury them. But why do so many out-of-towners drop dead in Harvest?
I have wondered about that, and I think it has something to do with the air.
But there's nothing wrong with the air. It's perfectly clean.
That's what I mean. Big city folk, they get so used to smog that clean air is a shock to their systems. Gets them every time. Don't forget to put the papers out for Jimmy. You know how he gets.
There now, see how easy it is?
And here it is, the object daub, imported Venetian glass and Italian dreams. You have done well. An unfortunate side effect that Pastorelli was electrocuted because you left live wires in a puddle on the floor. But as those with affectations of worldliness say, c'est la vie. Yes, a barber cut down in his prime. Of course, you only wanted the bowl, but that hardly matters now. Your final assignment is to set a fire in DNA's diner and let the French fry where they may. Yes, I suggest you succeed. Beyond that, you must find your own answers. Members of the Order must be resourceful and cunning. So must you be to become one with them. Tonight, the bake sale commences. Soon, the annual harvest blood drive will be at hand. When sacrifice will be the order of the day, your time in harvest grows short.
Steve, it's so good to see you again. I get so lonely in here.
I'm sorry. Want to hear what's happening out in the real world?
No. I'd rather forget about Harvest for a while.
Stephanie?
I feel so close to you, Steve. Like we're the only two people in Harvest. The only two real people. Do you know what I mean? I need to feel something again. This sense I have that I've known you. It's my only link to my past.
Yeah.
Maybe it's different than memory. Maybe we don't remember each other so much as we recall the feelings deep inside. Strong feelings.
Maybe the body has its own memory.
Let's find out.
I want you. Make love to me. Then take me, now.
Ah, you've taken up photography, I see. Now why on earth would you choose such a grotesque subject?
That John Doe you've got boxed up in the chapel? He didn't just drop dead. Someone helped him take the plunge.
You may be right. I'm a mortician, not a medical examiner.
You don't have to be to know that being ripped to shreds can be detrimental to your health.
This is not something you want to be looking into, young man. That's what we all want.
What game are you people playing?
A game we win or lose together.
Look, are you going to tell me what I want to know, or do I go to the sheriff with these pictures?
That would be a grave mistake, I assure you. I've told you all I can. My losses have been substantial of late, so I can't offer you money. The only thing I can give you in exchange for the photographs is my tube of astro glue. I do suggest you take it, for it's all you'll get from me. A wise decision. When a wasp's nest is stirred up, it is seldom the wasps who grieve later.
What a good boy you are. Have a cookie. Mercy, what a terrible thing to say. Isn't it, ladies?
Yes, terrible.
Hello, Steve. Why, I never. Isn't that right, ladies?
Yes, never.
What a good boy. Derelicts and bums who wander into town who don't have enough money for a decent burial.
They deserve to be buried. It's the Christian thing to do.
That's awful nice of you. But why do so many derelicts and bums die in harvest?
Don't be such a wise apple, Steve.
Hello, Steve.
Derelict.
That's all.
Don't.
Ladies, someone has just burned down the TV station. On the night of our bake sale?
Okay. Well, that didn't work. Well, that didn't work. Yeah.
Welcome to our order. The hand that grips the life is Stephanie.
Hello, dear. How are you today? The nerve of some people burning down the TV station to detract from our bake sale.
I doubt the perpetrator did it just to annoy the Harvest PTA.
Coincidence? I don't think so. Just 6 months ago, the newspaper building went up in smoke. Obviously, there's a firebug on the loose. Either that or a communist. Steve, I'm so scared. Just ask Colonel Monroe at the missile base. He'll tell you. Now that the bake sale's over, I just don't know how I'll fill my time. Oh, I feel so useless. My goodness. What's wrong with her? My goodness. Oh, it's not as bad as it looks. You just pop them back in. See? As good as new. That tarantula she ate must have had wasp eggs in it.
Don't you think we should get her to a doctor?
What for? She's got her mother. How silly I was, feeling useless just because there are no more cookies to bake. I can still rear my brood. This is a sign, Steve. I have a purpose again.
Glad to see you're feeling better.
Mind, that fire still burns my britches. First the newspaper building, then DNA's diner, then WHAR. I sense a pattern. And any pattern I can't make a dress out of is no darn good. I suppose you heard about DNA's diner burning down? Sheriff Dwayne thinks it was a grease fire. We took a black eye on the bake sale, but I'm sure the Harvest PTA annual blood drive will be more successful. Overall, we made about $200, hardly enough to bury a dead horse, and definitely not enough to cover the annual blood drive. Don't forget to put the papers.
There now, see how easy it is? Things are so much better between us when you remember the...
Say, can you spare a dime for a buckaroo who's down on his luck? The whole shebang just went up in flames, and I'm looking to mosey on to greener pastures, where the sunset's always golden, and there's always another savage to kill. Say, the whole...
I've tried so hard to find an excuse to keep on fighting, but Karen and I can't go out alone any longer. This diner he left us was all we had. It was always a struggle to keep it running in such a small town. And now we've lost it. I know that I can't afford to support us now. There's only one way out. I'm sure you won't be able to understand the depth of despair that would enable a mother to put a rope around her baby's neck and push her into the air and jump after her. I wonder if I'll hear her next now. If she kicks around and takes a long time to strangle, I'll scream, but I won't cut her down. I've got to be stronger than I ever was before. But I hope she doesn't get it. God help us and forgive us, Edna Fitzpatrick.
I'm glad to see you. I feel so... I saw the TV station go up from my window. It lighted up the whole town. It looked like hell. I wished it would consume the whole damn place. And me with it.
Don't talk like that.
I'm sorry. I just can't stand it anymore.
I wish there was something I could do.
There he is. Make love to me.
You wouldn't be taking advantage of me, Steve.
I know.
I guess I understand. I don't know if you heard or not, but Mr. Pastorelli, the barber, he's dead. Looks like somebody stole a barber's pole from him, then left the exposed electrical wires and some water on the floor. Pastorelli walked in, flipped on the lights, and... Know anything about that? Mr. Swell came by. I heard him telling my father about it. He said it smelled like roast pork.
Well, these things happen.
Especially around here. I heard that DNA's diner burned down.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Did you torch it, Steve? This had the stamp of another lodge initiation stunt.
Maybe so, but I had nothing to do with it.
Thank God for that. She hung herself, you know. And Karen. Can you imagine? Killing your own daughter? The despair she must have been feeling to do something like that? She must have felt there was no way to carry on after the fire.
Accidents happen.
It was no accident. The sheriff supposedly found evidence that the fire was set. Are you sure you didn't...
Would I lie to you?
No. I'm sure you wouldn't. Come back and visit.
Hello, dear. How are you today? Don't forget to put the...
Did you say hello to your thank? You know, with a slaughterhouse full of meat in town, what kind of nutcase would steal a barber's pole? Oh well, Pastorelli won't need it where he is. God rest his soul. Harvest will never be the same without DNA's diner. Or without DNA, for that matter.
DNA's diner is no more, as is Edna herself. She hung herself as soon as she realized what had happened to her beloved establishment. A true entrepreneur and a credit to her nation. Her suicide was an unforeseen byproduct, predictable by no one. She killed herself. She made her choice. If you were a catalyst, join the rest of the world. We all live off the deaths of others. Still, you sought to torch her diner, and torched it is. You have proven yourself a worthy candidate for initiation. This was only a trial to determine your worthiness for testing. Your initiation into the mysteries of the harvest will soon begin. In the meantime, be patient. Protocols must be observed before initiation may commence.
How I recognize this sign?
You will know when you receive the invitation. Bring it here, and your initiation shall begin.
Hello, dear. Oh, dear, I just heard what happened to Stephanie.
What do you mean? What happened to her?
You haven't heard? Well, young man, you march right over there this instant. She's your fiancée, after all.
Guess I can forget about the meat, huh?
What do you mean?
Your dad must have pulled some strings. Be sure and check Stephanie's pillow, you lucky bum.
What the hell are you talking about?
You'll see once the sheriff gets here. Stephanie. Things'll never be the same now. Guess I'll be watching TV nights.
Okay, you can come in now, son.
My God. Is that what I think it is?
Yep, it's a spinal cord.
Is it Stephanie?
I can see a resemblance, but I can't be sure.
More pie, Sheriff?
Pie? Don't you realize what's happened?
Oh, indeed I do. I can just hear the tongues wagging at the PTA. Was it suicide?
Never heard of anyone pulling their own spinal cord out before. Off the record, I'd have to say no. No, all in all, I'd say this was death by natural causes.
Natural causes?
You can't live without a spinal cord, son. Nothing unnatural about that. Think I will have some more pie.
Right away.
I can't believe this. This is horrible.
Believe me, you get to the point to where this is routine. Now, the only clue we got is that card on our pillow. Take a look at it.
This is practically a confession.
Confession to what, son?
Murder. Isn't that what you're here to investigate?
Son, you don't investigate natural deaths. No point.
Then I'll get to the bottom of this myself.
Yeah. I'm sure you will.
More pie, Sheriff?
Don't mind if I do. Can't allow you to take her remains, boy. What kind of sicko are you?
You received the invitation, but you have not brought it.
I don't understand.
The invitation was not the card, but the spinal cord. It must be presented to me ere I allow you to enter. The mysteries are only disclosed to members of the Order, not initiates. You were provided an invitation. Bring me the skull and spinal cord if you would pass to the world beyond. You have done well. Now let the initiation commence. As your mystagogue, it is requested and required that I turn over this sacred dagger to you to aid you in your quest.
What is this?
You must now enter the lodge. Initiates find it a hostile place.
Are you supposed to help me or get me killed?
I'm starting you on the path of initiation to a very special, very exclusive brotherhood. I am merely the administrator of a test. Whether you view me as an enemy or a friend depends on how well you're prepared to pass.
And this thing? You haven't said what it is.
It is a special weapon. Using it will be part of the initiation. You always have a choice, Initiate. Which choices you make matter only to you. Whatever occurs in here is relevant to the great question which you cannot help but answer. What is at issue is whether in answering the question you will find the answers you seek. You will encounter those intent on preventing or prompting your answer, depending on how you look at it. While the assumption is you
Just tell me, is Stephanie dead or being held within?
The membership director on the second level keeps track of such things.
Oh, great. Then you are against me.
I am the Sergeant at Arms. I am here to ensure that the protocols are observed. Deviation from a protocol shall result in punishment. Remember what I have told you. Now, let the initiation begin.